a video effect over time, and let's get started. So I'm at the beginning of the frame. Now let's say I want, like sometimes you've seen slow zoom-ins on a show, okay, or some video. Now that could have been done by the person holding down the little zoom toggle switch on the camera, or it could have been done in post. I'm going to show you how to do it in post. There's a handout over there for you. So, so for right now, So for right now, since I'm gonna do a slow zoom in. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a keyframe at the very beginning, and I'm going over to transform, and I'm going to scale, and I'm going to all. Okay. So you'll see next to where it says 100%. You'll see a little diamond shape. It'll look with a plus sign in the middle of it. And if you hover your cursor over it, it will say add keyframe. So, what was I? Oh, so if I click that, you see it'll turn orange, and also the scale X and scale Y will now also have keyframes, because if I'm doing scale all, I'm doing with the width and the height, and that's what the scale X and scale Y deal with. So the reason why I did that is because when I make my next keyframe, like before we did keyframes. Oh, you sent me a message a few minutes ago, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, I think I was rushing here when you came here. Were you saying you were running late?
Hey, Mr. Trevor.
Yes.
What's your name?
What?
What's your name? Say sorry.
Keyframe.
That's
Yes.
okay.
Where was I?
Keyframe.
So if I just went over to the very, and I'm going to go to the end of the video, the very last frame, okay? And I'm going to make another keyframe, and I'm going to press scale. Well, I'm going to go to scale, I'm going to go to all, and I'm going to add a keyframe, just like I did before. But this time I'm going to change that scale all number from 100% to, actually, you know what? Let's make it more challenging. Like, why are we making it so challenging, Mr. Mel? Let's go halfway. All right, we're going to go halfway into this clip, and then I'm going to add a keyframe. All right, I did a Control Z to get rid of that keyframe that I had at the end. You can do that or just leave it there, because we're going to make it again in just a moment. So went to about halfway in the clip, clicking on adding a keyframe. It doesn't have to be perfectly sent in the middle of the clip or whatever, but anyway, I've added a keyframe, and now I'm going to change this to 120%. Okay, so I'm going to click on that 100, and I'm just going to type on my key number pad 120, and it'll zoom in a little bit. Okay. Now, if you want to click on the number and drag, click, hold, and drag to get the number to 120, that's fine also. So what's going to happen right here is that since I don't have another keyframe after this point, whatever my last keyframe coordinate was, that's what it's going to stay at. Okay? So what's going to happen is it's going to slowly zoom in, and then it's going to stop. So go ahead and take a look. Oh, wait. Hold on. All right. Oh, some not going.
Yeah, sorry, right. But my clips ain't showing up.
Are you on this computer?
Nah, I was on this computer. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
That's why I need flash.
Yeah, you're doing the right stuff. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay.
am I doing it right?
No, you're in an event, so you're
Oh,
and you.
It just happened to pop up. Check it out.
This one?
I'm not doing that.
Oh, there you go. Only have like 2?
That's good.
Okay.
Was I think I've worked on this before.
Something like that.
And I think it's supposed to be saving, so it should do that.
So I know we was talking about the currencies on the admin.
This preview window is in my way. But for sure, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Oh, you know what? Let me get you
I got
a timeline. Is it okay if I go ahead and delete this?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
We should at least drag it to the timeline and then we'll what? Alright. I agree.
Yeah, you should have it in here.
Yeah, and then once I can delete it from the timeline and it'll still be,
It'll stay in there.
yeah. That was all sample clips. All right, so like I was saying, my first keyframe was just in at 100. The second keyframe that I had about midway during the clip, that one was 120%. So you'll see it does like a slow zoom in, towards the center of the screen.
The keyframe.
So
Oh, yeah.
you guys seeing it slowly zoom in?
That's it.
Okay, and then it stops. So did yours do that?
All right.
Anybody? Or y'all like we weren't doing it?
I got it.
You got it?
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. So
All right.
we're going to the beginning.
So
It just-
now, just to show that now let's take it back. But this time let's maybe make it smaller. So I'm gonna go to the end of the clip, and even if I go say I don't know a few frames before the end of the clip, it'll just get to that point and it'll stop, and then it'll stay still for a few seconds. But I'm just gonna go to the end of the clip. I'm going to go to scale all again, and I'm going to click add keyframe, and this time I'm going to do 75%. So when I do that, you'll see it's actually smaller than the window because 100% is its actual size. So it's going to, when I press play, it's going to, from the very beginning, it's going to go to the, it's going to zoom in, and then it's going to, once it gets about halfway, it's going to zoom out, but it's going to zoom out even more to where, there's going to be some black, around the edges of the frame. And this is what that looks like. So, and once you see it gets about right here, then it's going to start going the opposite direction.
You did that at the end? You went back to 100?
A what?
For the scale keyframe?
Yeah, I went to the very, I went to the end and I added another keyframe. And when you're adding keyframes and maneuvering around them, and you're trying to get to the next keyframe, here's how you can get to that. Here's a way that you can do to find your keyframes, okay? Because you may be like, oh, well, I thought I put it over here, I thought I put it over here, and I need to adjust it, but I can't find it, and all I see is just little numbers moving around, but I can't find my keyframe. Here's how you can go from keyframe to keyframe. So it's almost like skipping a track on a CD. If you guys know what CD, you guys have used CDs before, yeah? All right, cool. So I just want to make sure. So if I want to go to my very first keyframe, there's a little arrow here. So where we have the percentage of the size, to the right of the percent sign, you're going to see a little arrow thing that's kind of like a little converse arrow looking thing, and it'll be pointing to the left, and to the right of that is a keyframe that points to the right. So the one on the left, it'll go to the previous keyframe, as it says when you hover over it. So if I need to go to my very first keyframe, I can do that. If I press the next keyframe button, then it'll go to my middle keyframe. If I go to the key, press it again, and then it'll go to my last keyframe. The reason why they have this, and I think this is one of the weaknesses of Final Cut Pro 10, is that I haven't found it. Maybe there's a view where you can see your timeline and it'll display your keyframes. That may exist because it seems too obvious not to have. I just haven't spent enough time digging through the menu options to have a display like that. But even if I didn't have that, I could use this, these arrows to go from one keyframe to the next if I needed to adjust.
Nowhere we can view all the keyframes that we put.
Yeah, that's basically what it, yeah. In Adobe you have that, but for some reason it's not so obvious in Final Cut. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I know I can do the same thing here. But like if you wanted to, say in Adobe, you have the keyframe at a certain location and you wanted to say maybe move it forward, say 5 seconds, you could actually just click the little diamond, because they use diamonds in Adobe also, and just drag it on the little effects editor and do it that way. But no, so, or at least it's not easily observable. So what is this? Let me see.
So
This should.
The keyframe assignment.
I have no idea what that is. I'm not gonna mess with this. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Everything you just did, like when you're showing us, is the keyframe assignment.
I'm just teaching you keyframes right now, but that's not the actual homework. So I haven't got to, I don't usually get to doing the homework until like the last 10 minutes or so of class. So I'm going to show you another way of using keyframes. That display whole picture that I spent all that ink. Like, what is he talking about? Anyway, so I'm going to show you another way of creating a keyframe. So, and manipulating keyframes. Now, before I do that, something I want to say is that with what I showed you, it applies to pretty much all the effects. So, like what I showed you in the video editing, video adjustments lesson, what, week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like say with color, I can also do keyframes. It has that as well. With audio, you can also add keyframes. So like, here's a keyframe, what do you call it, icon right here. So it does apply to your other, it applies to you to the other effects as well. So that's why, it's like, oh, well, we didn't touch this or we didn't touch that. Well, it works pretty much the same on those as well. Where was I? Oh, so I'm going to delete what I just did, and I'm going to show you another way of dealing with keyframes. So I'll use this clip this time, and I'm just going to drag it down. And I'm going to show you kind of like a way to freehand your keyframe. So sometimes this is going to be easier because you're going to want something maybe to fit in a very specific location. And just like, okay, well, I see this specific area at the top of my screen that I want to adjust, or I want to move this thing to, then I don't feel like clicking and holding and dragging till I get to that particular number. I just want to put the thing over where I want it to be. So the way you can do that, I'm going to go to transform again, and this time I'm going to press my little freehand button. I wish they had another name for it, or name will pop up, but anyway, I'm going to Click that. And I'm sorry, what? This little square. So on the transform line to the, okay. So what I should be seeing right now, hold on. All right, well, it's not displaying, let's see, fit, view. Maybe when I turn that tracker off, maybe that's what messed things up. No, stabilization. What I should be seeing right now is, oh, okay, there it is. Why wasn't it showing before? Okay, for some reason, these overlays where it says done, reset, this stuff, yeah, it should have, for mine, it should have automatically popped up. I guess, me double clicking helped it realize that, hey, I got something to show. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to make the image smaller, and I'm going to have it moving around the screen. Okay, or I'm not going to have it going all everywhere, but you'll see. So what I'm going to do, because I can't start right here. The reason why I can't start right here is because I want to have it at the beginning. Okay, so if I created a keyframe right here, then it would go about, I don't know, 6 seconds into the video, and then it would start doing stuff. And or anyway, so I don't really want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the playhead to the beginning of the clip, and then I'm going to start messing around with these little blue circles or purple circles, whatever color you want to call them. And what I'm going to do is the ones that are in the corners, those are the ones I'm going to mess with. Okay, if I mess with the ones on the side, well, I'm going to mess with the ones in the corners first. If I mess with the ones on the side, then I'm going to start like squeezing my image, and that's just not what I want to do today. So that's why I'm not messing with those. But the ones on the corners, that's how you can resize your image. Okay, everyone see how the image is, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller? Yeah? I'm like, I hope you guys notice the difference. Yes, sir.
This preview window is still on my thing, and I'm not to take it out. This thing right here.
We'll click right here. Okay. No, that's not gonna change it. Huh. Someone must have adjusted it to have a preview in the program window. And it's been so long since I've done this. I don't remember how to get rid of it. Let's see, maybe I can. Oh. Why is it moving?
It does that too. Never been on a computer.
No, I can make it smaller.
Yes, that's the best you can do.
There's a way to do it, but
Only takes too much in class.
yeah. Well, I'll have to bite the bullet and research how to do that. All right. Where was I? Oh, I'm gonna reduce the size of my clip, and I'm gonna go a little faster so I can do the homework. And yeah, try to keep up. So I'm just using the little blue dots to deal with that. And actually, have I made my keyframe? I haven't made my keyframe. So in order to make my keyframe, since I haven't moved on the timeline, I'm still good. But in this window, you can also make your keyframes here in the upper left. So, and you see that all this lit up because these are all the things that I can adjust through this window. So that's why it lit up. So anyway, I don't know what scale I reduced this to, and anyway, so I'm just gonna have it up here, and for the sake of time, I'm just gonna have it at the bottom, and I'm gonna go to the very end of my video, and I'm gonna add another keyframe. Actually, hold on, let me get onto here. Alright. Hold on. What is that? Come on, view, show my keyframes. Alright. And I'm just gonna drag it down to, I don't know, say here, and I'm gonna make sure I add my key frame. Oh, now it wants to add it there. Okay, so anyway, so I know that's a rough way of doing it, but what's gonna happen for this one is it's just gonna slide the video from top of the screen to the bottom. So. So that's how you can use the freehand version of adjusting keyframes. Now, let's get to what?
You went to the end and you dragged it down?
Yeah, I just went to the actual clip and I just just dragged it down.
All the way to the end. So.
Yeah.
Let me see what you're doing. All right. So, did you start off by reducing the size?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I didn't mess with the size anymore. All I did was I just but it's well. Actually, I'm gonna have to move on. Okay. All right. So for the homework, what you're gonna do is yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this clip because I don't think it's gonna help me, and also I don't feel like just Control-Z and all those changes. So, and I'm just gonna go with the same clip again. I'm gonna lower the volume because anyway, and let's get this down to I like 15 seconds. It doesn't have to be 15 seconds. It can be 10 seconds. It's fine. I think anything less than I don't know, 8 is going to be a little too quick. I mean, you can do it. It's just, it's just a matter of preference for me. So, anyway, so for our homework, what we're going to do is I'm going to have the clip. Well, actually, I'm going to talk about it as I do it. So, for starters, the clip is going to be half its original size, and yeah, we're going to need to have about 4 keyframes for this. So, first one, I'm going to go ahead and make a keyframe under scale, and which I don't really have to, but you'll see. I'm just doing this to be thorough. So, but position is also, another one that I'm gonna need to do. Position is more important than scale at this point. So, let's do scale 50%, and I'm just gonna type in 50. And for position, I'm just gonna go over to X, the X coordinate, and then I'm just gonna drag my mouse. I'm going to go over to the numbers. I'm going to click and hold on the numbers, and I'm just going to drag down till this moves. It doesn't have to be completely off screen, but mostly off screen. Okay, so that's my first keyframe. So then what we're going to have is we're going to have the video kind of creep towards the center, stop for a second, and then go back to its original 100% size. So starting off from the one side, that's one frame. Creeping towards the center is another frame, having the same keyframe, duplicating the same aspects of that keyframe, but like have it be there for like say 2 seconds. That's the third keyframe, and then having it go back to its original size. That's the fourth keyframe. So I'm gonna go. I don't have to be exactly halfway. I'm just gonna go somewhere near halfway, a little bit before halfway, and I'm gonna add a keyframe for position. And I'm going to add a keyframe for scale. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, I'm doing the scale thing to kind of help you guys because I'm not really going to mess with the scale again until I get to the last keyframe. But if it helps you guys, I've noticed that sometimes it helps people when I do that. So I'm going to have my frame go to the center of the screen. If you don't want to click and drag under the X numbers, you can just click and just press 0. And I'll put it in the center. So that's a faster way of doing that. And that's it. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my third keyframe. So for my third keyframe, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have the exact same thing. Okay. So I'm just going to press keyframe for position, keyframe for scale. Okay. So what that's going to do, and I just moved over like a second or two, or I don't know, half a second. So basically that's just going to keep it kind of like locked in place for that amount of time. Now I'm going to go to the end, and I'm going to add a keyframe. And really this is the one where I need the scale. I'm going to do position again just to, I don't know, it may help you guys on some level. And for the scale all, I'm going to select 100. And now it's going to be back to its original size. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. And yeah, if you got some questions, then ask me right after I play this clip. All right, so here we go. So slowly moves from off screen. It's going to pause for like a second. And now it zooms, bigger to make the thing its complete size. So that is what I want to see for your homework. Don't forget to put your name, either put it on the lower third or put it on the full screen or graphic before your actual clip starts, because I want you doing that in every assignment. So even if you don't have your name on the file name, I can still see your name in the video. So I know someone's gonna have some questions. Who has a question?
Can you replay it?
Replay it? Okay, sure. So the first keyframe is why it started off screen. The second one is why it got to this point. The third is what keeps it in place, and the fourth is why it's expanding. So and all right. Yes. What can I? Yeah, 14 frames. Yeah, that messed me up too, because I thought I added another keyframe. There is a small zoom in naturally in the video, and it may throw you off to make you think that, oh, I did something. No, that wasn't me. let me check. I'm gonna check your keyframes. Alright.
You want to do so you start with the video,
So
the beginning, you're gonna just
it's continuing.
press stop.
You just started at the very beginning. Actually, that's one issue. Or else your keyframe may have gotten deleted, or you may have accidentally. It seems like you were doing it right. It's just you gotta get that first keyframe back. So where this is off screen. So you don't have to delete what you've done. You just gotta add another keyframe right at the beginning, and then you'll be good. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I'm trying to fix it so I got it. Yeah.
See, like you're just experimenting. Like, let me see if I can rotate it and go. See if I can bend time and space. Yes, you can. But that's not what we're doing today. Yeah, you're just messing with rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got up here, it's coming like it's coming from opposite side on that way.
Nah, we don't need to do anything with rotation. Let's just undo anything that you got with rotation. Let's
Yeah.
anything with rotation. Let's delete that whatever keyframe you got.
Yeah.
Here, let me
Usually I put it in the flash drive.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna get rid of that. Get rid of the next one.
Hey, Mr. Trimmill.
Let's see if I can just reset the whole parameter for that. Okay. That. Yes, sir. So let's see what's going on now. I think you weren't on. Okay, I think one thing, it looks like your scale. You weren't. Yeah, your scale numbers aren't the same. So I think maybe one time you accidentally maybe have adjusted scale X instead of scale all, and that's why it looks all stretchy. It's like I'm looking. Okay, this right here looks fine. Yeah, that 50. But then right here, you see that? That says 67. Let's see. Well, type in 71.34 because that's the number that you had. All right, go ahead, press enter. So that's gonna make something look better. Okay, that was all you did. All right, I'm just curious what's gonna happen with this.
It's got to be.
Your
scale Y is off too. Yeah, you're messing with. I'm be honest with you, I'll probably just ditch the whole thing and start over. Yes, sir.
The first part everything good, but it's like that.
Question command.
To make it big?
No, I'm not making big, but I have like zoom.
Okay. I see it kind of like
That's
just
your timeline.
jumps. Let's see.
First time.
It should have been like redo.
I will say you got too many keyframes.
I'm too many keyframes.
Yeah, you did a whole bunch. This ain't After Effects.
Yeah, because my video have long.
I hear you. What you need to do is delete some of those keyframes, and also, this keyframe needs to be closer to the end, but I'm not gonna be that picky. But I say, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Whoa.
5.
Wait, so 2.
Yeah, you got a lot of unnecessary keyframes. I probably need to delete like at least 4 of those, and also have that other keyframe be, Oh, you gonna do that? Okay. That's a smart way.
It says higher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You said for the clips in here.
Oh,
Not
shit.
for the clips in here.
Damn. And Mr. Trimmill.
You did.
So look.
I'm sorry, I forgot about you.
Oh, I mean, you can go to him. Shit. I mean, I gotta wait till 10 though, so I might need a note. Yeah. Like 26 ways. Yeah, and it's like 56.
All right.
Can we just return it?
What happened with yours?
Oh, yeah, my stuff is not popping up.
The video.
The same thing I said, man. crazy.
Here's what I think is gonna fix it. Actually, probably restart the whole computer. I mean, not right now.
Let's see. That's the interesting.
Hold on. This says Shahid Evans. This is video and Shahid Evans. So it was going. You were keeping up, and then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Yeah, I think that shit is good.
You know, I'm not. But I'm sorry, man. I don't know.
So I got to restart.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. What is it?
It's not due till what's today? Friday.
The 30th.
Next Friday.
Okay.
Not the 30th. I'm trying to get. No. But the 20th.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Can I get that? Have to wait.
It's looking good so far. Taking a minute, but that's all right. No, I want to see. No, I want to see the whole thing because I think it's expanding. Look at
How you do that slow?
scale.
Slow.
Yep. But yeah, I see one thing. Yeah, you should have let the scale alone.
So,
Because really, the only time you usually mess with the scale is
this is gonna
the
be
first
around
one.
the beginning.
That's the only problem I'm seeing so far. I'm looking for that pause. It should be coming up.
This is T.
Uh,
Yeah, it's time for me to
No,
try.
not down your copy.
Yeah, it's time for me to.
I'm so sorry. I moved my computer and I didn't know that it was behind it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out.
yeah, but classes dismissed and, you know, you guys, I'm surprised I'm not seeing Dr. Hill right now.
Yeah, where's Dr. Hill? First of all,
Oh, can you find anything else? I don't have any Jedi powers. Alright, let's get to problem. Yeah, just go like that. Alright, so here's, I think the easiest way to fix this is to just, for scale, reset the parameters. What that means is, it's gonna take everything to your okay, you're at 51. Still says 51. Still says 51. Still says 51. Did you shoot the video? That's what usually happens, like when I go forward and there's like more keyframes past whatever. We're using the freehand. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, just I'm just trying to figure out why you got a lot of extra keyframes. You know, I think that it gets to the end. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. That looks okay. Oh, hold on. Let me stop this. I got a recording still going.